This channel is supported by Truefire. Truefire is an online library
enough, you can get the Truefire All Access Pass for as cheap as they ever do it, the $99 thing. So just jump and do that if you're looking for the best price you can get Truefire All Access for.
Sire sent me this guitar. This is a sponsored video, but I've had a particularly keen interest in Sire guitars ever since they sort of kind of exploded onto the scene a few years ago. I guess it must be about 5 years by this point. I've been interested to see that essentially what started off their guitar part of their business was Larry Carlton, and that's since, again, I guess a word to use, exploded into really a full sort of guitar company. Guitars that really aren't any longer based on much of Larry's stuff at all. I was interested in this in particular because I think it's kind of brave for them to take on this particular brand. Wonderful Larry Carlton's face on here. But here we have my first look in person at this from Sire. Now it did say on top of the case, YouTuber sample, so if I was running a guitar company, I would give these an extra sort of eye to, or make sure that these, scissor there as well, make sure that these guitars are getting, you know, so you're not sending out things that may have QC issues. So I should say that that is potentially, wow, look at the spark. Okay, so I can see that this has been fingerprints, so it has been touched by a human, which I think is a good sign. Definitely is going after that PRS sort of thing. Unlike the PRS at this kind of price would generally not have a body that is contoured like this. So they're meaningfully doing something a bit different to what PRS do in this side of the world. Like, they don't have the same body contours. That's actually a really nice body contour, and I absolutely love. So it's got volume locking tuners, but this here is like a matte finish to the body. That's really quite cool. So nice sort of rolled fret edges, a chunky neck. Maybe I should just try and play something on it. like playing it, it does feel really pretty sleek. I like it's not a thin neck at all. It's nice chunky boy. The only real downside as I can see it, I would just say just like a little bit of sloppiness around here. I'll show photos of that. And for me, I think it's a little bit of a risk using a floating bridge. This is one area that even PRS I think sort of struggle with. Maybe that I think might be better off set not floating in terms of stability, but overall very impressed. I have the box EB. D-a-bit shot. That's pretty impressive to me, like that's come across from Indonesia. We've got a coil split, no, we've got a 5-way. It's actually got a really nice kind of resonant voice to it. There's something rattling. Is it the back of that against the body? This is a floating bridge. Let me see if I can find a... Right, we've got a trem arm here. Be interested to know if this actually stays in tune. So, push in. Nice. That's not bad at all. Right, let's do some more playing. I'll give you some close-ups of the fretboard. It does have the typical Sire thing with the rolled fretboard edges. The frets look good. And they're big chunky boys. I would say there's some sort of... You can see that a person has been involved here. But it's not the tidiest fretwork that I've ever seen. I imagine that would tidy up somewhat and clean off if I was to sort of run some Monty's fretboard conditioner over it. I imagine that would clean up really nicely. The headstock is actually very pretty. Yeah, I think that is a pretty reasonable answer to the question, like, can you get something like a PRS? This is actually a Wilkinson bridge, so decent quality stuff. 5-way switch, Gibson style, whatchamacallit. Okay, you can probably see from here that this has a really nice bevel to the body, and this is not something that PRS typically offer outside of their core range. So that's quite a nice thing. I'll try and get you some close-ups here of the fretboard. Hopefully you can get some sort of idea. Like, it's rolled, but it's not spotless, if you know what I mean. Really nice
headstock design. I'll get you the other side here. Don't know to what extent can you see. Like maybe you can see there's just like little bits of, I guess, tool marks. A fairly chunky bridge. And I guess I want to show you this actually. Look, this matte red sparkle finish on the neck. It's actually really, really beautiful. I think that's quite a cool finish. £600 is the price on this. Again, does this resemble anything like a guitar that you've ever seen Larry play? I'm not sure. I really like these inlays. Those are very pretty, I think. Pretty classy looking. Overall, quite an impressive guitar. I think a PRS DGT versus this might make an interesting sort of comparison. Hard to beat PRS, I think, would be one of the things that I'd say, because at this price point PRS are absolutely killing it, so it's kind of brave to try and compete. And I do think out of the box that's a pretty impressive guitar. I think a PRS might be slightly tidier around here, but it probably wouldn't be rolled anyway. Yeah, overall, yeah, very impressed.